E.N.D here. There's no doubt that the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, is Spider-Man's most iconic villain and arch-enemy. A master of deception and meticulous planning, his ultimate goal has always been to eliminate Spider-Man. Now, thanks to the Marvels and Magic the Gathering crossover, this cunning and manipulative power comes to the battlefield through a returning mechanic, Connive. Connive is a keyword action introduced in Streets of New Capenna as the signature Obscura mechanic. It is the perfect mechanic for those that want to manipulate and distract, always looking for a better position. And Connive will put you in a better position both in terms of creature strength and hand quality. If a creature you control is instructed to connive, you draw a card and discard a card. This might help you find the land you need, or later in the game might let you trade away an unneeded land while getting to your game-ending threats a little quicker. If you discard a non-land card, you put a +1/+1 counter on the creature that connived. But how do you play Connive? Let's build our battlefield. Let's put this that will represent our deck, and this is my hand. 2 lands and a counter spell. And I'm going to cast Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn for 1 and 1 blue. Can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, Connive. Any creature with Connive, it's a normal creature spell. Therefore, when casted, it will go on the stack. There can be a counter, there can be a response, nothing happens, and Norman Osborn will hit the battlefield. It's my turn again, and whenever Norman Osborn deals combat damage to a player, he connives. I'm going to swing. Norman Osborn can't be blocked. Therefore, it will deal combat damage to a player. Connive will trigger, and I will draw a card. I'm going to discard a land. Because I discarded a land, I will not put any +1/+1 counters on my Norman Osborn. It's my turn again. I'm going to attack with my Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn cannot be blocked, therefore it will deal 1 damage to my opponent. Again, Connive will trigger. I will draw a card. This time I'm going to remove Secrets of the Golden City. Because I discarded a non-land card, I will put a +1/+1 counter on Norman Osborn. Some notes: if a resolving spell or ability instructs a specific creature to connive, but that creature has left the battlefield, the creature still connives. If you discard a non-land card this way, you won't put any +1/+1 counters. Abilities that trigger when that creature connives will trigger. Connive functions similarly to Explore, with the player making the decisions for the action, while the creature performing the ability is the recipient of its counters. Connive N is a variant of Connive. If a creature connives N, its controller will draw N cards, discard N cards, then put +1/+1 counters on the conniving permanent equal to the number of non-land cards discarded this way. Once an ability that causes a creature to connive begins to resolve, no player may take any other action until it's done. Notably, opponents cannot try to remove the conniving creature after you discard a non-land card, but before it receives the counter. If no card is discarded, most likely because that player's hand is empty, or an effect says they can't draw cards, the conniving creature does not receive any +1/+1 counter. So that's how you play Connive, an ideal mechanic for Norman Osborn and any villain in Spider-Man Multiverse. Leave me a comment below. What do you think about this returning mechanic? And as always, subscription button is here. Subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world. Liliana!